I'm David. This is Garin. We're the Printed Panel Podcast.
That's what we do, yeah.
Comic books on a budget for August 19th.
So why do we do comic books on a budget?
Why do we do comic books on a budget?
Because
comic books are getting more and more expensive.
Yes, they are. And unfortunately, not everybody has hundreds of dollars that we do to spend on comic books every single week. So we're going to pick up our top four. Each of us will share our top four, which are probably damn near identical. Maybe a little off. No, you're just two of mine. Okay, so yeah, we're still got some variety. It's rare that we have the exact top four. When we do, it's like, okay, these are going to be pretty awesome. You should pick them.
It's pretty common that we'll have one or two that are...
Oh yeah, always at least one or two. But we recommend these for 2 or 3 different reasons. One, because they're really good books, you should read them. Or two, because they're collectible books. Or they're going to be first appearances or really, really big issues. You should go out and get those books. So let's start off with number 4 today.
What's your number 4?
Number 4 is going to be Avengers number 35.
Fist of Khonshu?
Fist of Khonshu, yeah.
So we are in the age of Khonshu, and Moon Knight has beat down the Avengers, which has allowed Khonshu to take over the world.
Yep.
And
but Moon Knight is starting to regret it now. You can see he's like, I fucked up. Shouldn't have done that.
Maybe Khonshu
had ulterior motives, maybe?
Yeah. Bast is going to get mad and tear Khonshu a new one.
Oh, yeah, Bast is going to... Yeah. You had 2 gods, but one is much more powerful than the other, so... Well, I don't know, maybe...
Apparently not.
Well, but I remember the Black Panther was holding back the whole time, though. So it's like now Bast is released and...
I'm just saying, he ended up in chains.
So we'll see. What's your number 4?
So I chose Shadow Service number 1.
I'm actually really interested in that book. It was really good.
It's so they said...
That's a Vault book, too, right?
A Vault book.
Yeah.
MI6 meets... Supernatural, basically.
Yeah.
So
MI6 monsters. Gotcha.
Yeah. So the I like urban fantasy.
James Bond
so
no, okay. Sorry. Got off topic.
What's your number 3, sir?
Thor number 6.
Thor number 6.
Now technically it could have been my number 2. But my number 2 is a big one too, so they're really interchangeable. Actually, it could have been my number 1 because I'm most excited about this book. But I put it number 3 and I'll explain. But what's your number 3?
Oh, mine are not interchangeable. They are in order. Dead Day number 2.
Oh man, finally! It's only been like 8 weeks or something like that.
So because of COVID-19, the books that we were expecting to release one after the other for a month have had this delay.
Right.
And
Aftershock is a small company, so they can't afford the things Marvel and DC can afford.
Disaster Inc., I was like, oh man, issue 2, we read it in June. I'm like, issue 2 is not until August 5th. That's forever away. Oh God, how long until Dead Day?
And they came out back to back.
Yeah. And their number 1 issues came out back to back. Their number 2 issues came out back to back. And hopefully now we're going to get the next 3 pretty succinctly. Once a month.
I'm actually really excited about Dead Day too.
I consider so far it's been one of the most interesting zombie books. I mean, it and Year Zero both just destroy The Walking Dead.
But is it a zombie book?
Yes.
I mean, are they zombies? Or are they just?
They're zombies.
They're zombies, but they go back.
Yes, that's the definition of undeath.
Right, but I'm saying
so
they could be.
They were dead. And they're up walking around, but they're not alive. That's called undead.
Right,
therefore zombies.
But wait, hold on. But then they go back to being dead again.
Yes.
And then they come back again later on, another year. I don't understand.
They're re-dead.
It's re-dead?
Yeah.
That's what we're calling it, re-dead? That's a new thing?
I coined that phrase years ago from a D&D campaign, because if you're laying undead back to rest, you're
re-deading them?
You're re-deading them.
Okay, I'm good with that. All right.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number 2?
Thor number 6.
Okay, so yeah. Now mine is Maestro number 1.
Okay.
I love Peter David. I love the Maestro run. I love the Future Imperfect that run that he did. Quite frankly, I think this is going to be one of the coolest books that we're going to find this week. Maestro is one of those characters that, yes, it's the Hulk, but it's the Hulk, 500 years into the future, 200 years into the future, and he is the ultimate everything. He's defeated everybody.
Future Imperfect basically said that the only person who could stand against Hulk is Hulk.
Right.
And, I mean, I wish they kind of copied that at DC and said the only person who can stand against Superman is an evil Superman. And
we haven't really had an evil Superman in a while.
Yeah, we're about due for an evil Superman.
Yeah.
And I'm with you that Maestro is going to be a fantastic book. It just didn't quite make my top 4.
I picked it also because it's going to be a first appearance thing. You're going to have lots of firsts. It's going to be a big book. So.
And it has like 19 variant covers.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
No, not really. It's like 6, but it is a lot.
Oh, there's more than 6 because you're not counting Untamed Worlds and all these other comic exposure companies. There are multiple companies out there now because of those companies. Not from Marvel necessarily, but from companies making their own comics.
Yes.
So, what's your number 2? Well, you said
Thor number 6.
Sorry. And what's your number 1?
Same thing as yours, Batman 97.
Yeah.
James Tynion IV is writing the best comic in the industry right now.
Hands down. And he's going to do one with Merc and Dolpho.
Yeah,
Holy
assuming
the
DC bloodbath does it.
I think the bloodbath's done for a while, actually. So I'm hoping there are some new titles coming up too, because man.
I think it's a bold move to have invested so much in Brian Michael Bendis only to kill his Teen Titans and Young Justice lines.
Was his Teen Titans as well? I thought Young Justice was just his.
I thought he did Young Justice. Well, I mean, I don't read them. So
he does Superman, he does Action, he does the Wonder Comics line. There's only 2 or 3 in that, and then I think that's it though. I don't think he's doing Teen Titans. Okay. So, but Teen Titans was ready to be done anyway for a new iteration to come up at some point anyway, because the team had been splitting up in the comic anyway, so they've been planning this. It's like Batgirl had been planned to be stopped at 50, so we knew that. They knew Batman and the Outsiders. We knew it wasn't going to survive because this wasn't that good a book. I mean, Batman can't support a team that's not fantastic. So that's kind of
well. The criticism I have for Batman and the Outsiders was not. It was the wrong title. It isn't a bad book.
Right. They also weren't outsiders either.
It's not the Outsiders. Yeah. There's no Metamorpho.
Well, and the Outsiders, the point of the Outsiders is they're not part of any other groups, and they are literally on the fringes. And Orphan isn't on the fringes. She's with the Bat family.
No.
Black Lightning is certainly not on the fringes of anything. So, yeah, I mean...
It should have... I mean, you could have got away with calling it Black Lightning and the Outsiders.
Yeah.
But Batman wasn't really truly a part of the book. It really centered around a new superhero that they were trying to introduce, at least in the first few issues. So I think the title hurt it. I really think calling it a Bat book, when you read it looking for more complicated Bat family, I mean, what Batman and the Outsiders should have been is that team from the original Detective Comics run of Clayface and Orphan and Spoiler and... God, it hurts me. Drake.
And put Metamorpho in there.
No.
I mean,
no. Have Batwoman run the team.
Batwoman run the team?
Batwoman runs the team.
Yeah.
Put Batwing and the Signal in there. And maybe throw Harley Quinn every once in a while.
Or we can put the Signal in the Batcave and just leave him there for support. Because no one cares about it.
Duke.
So, Duke.
Anyway, so we got off topic. Those are our top four.
We went really negative about that.
And it wasn't, we're not trying to be negative about it. Please understand.
If that's your favorite book, I do apologize.
Please understand, we're comic book fans. We've been reading for a very long time. Each of us has. And when DC drops 25% of their line in a day, it is very difficult for us to get our minds around it.
I wonder how much of that is Vertigo.
Yeah, a bunch of it was Vertigo. They actually dropped Constantine.
Yeah,
but that was a big one.
It would be a slap in the face to have Constantine dropped and still have House of Whispers going.
Well, we do,
or Books of Magic going.
But they are. The big thing is though, their black label line is going to get bigger. They've already talked about how they're going to do more black label titles. I think the Joe Hill books have been really popular. The Hill House books have been Hill House books have been really popular. So there's things that are going to change and shift. And yes, there's a drop, but by early next year there'll be more coming back up. So we'll have more titles. So it's just going to be a bit. So some adjustment. Not for Marvel.
Oh, and I don't think so. I think AT&T is looking to get out of the comic book business. I think DC will sell.
Then Disney, it's time for you to go ahead and step up and buy DC.
God, could you imagine?
Unfortunately, yes.
Keep them separate companies.
Yeah, just have some crossovers every once in a while.
Yeah.
Batman and Alien vs. Predator.
All right, we're going to shut up here.
Thanks, guys.